All right, guys, gonna go ahead and get this started. Take a second to grab, pen, paper, and we'll go ahead and get this thing rolling. Start in about like 15, 20 seconds. All right. All right. So, everybody who hopped on, make sure you have something to write down some notes with. Um, Today, we're going to be talking about social media. Really, I listened to a 3-hour webinar by this guy named Max Steingart. I think you guys should all check out some of his stuff online. Pete Sanchez is the one who introduced him to me. Let's see, post his name in here. But basically, so I just posted in the chat, Max Steingart. I listened to a webinar by him. He specializes in doing stuff with social media marketing, how to, never run out of people to talk to when you're using Facebook. And so I went through and did this webinar yesterday, and I'm going to see if I can figure out how to do screen sharing on here. There we go. Okay, so there we go. All right, so sharing your screen. If you can you guys see my screen right now? I want to make sure that you guys can. You guys just send whoops. If someone could send me a message and let me know if you could see my screen right now, that would be awesome. Can you guys see my screen now? Yes, okay, cool. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about is just really setting up your profile properly. Stuff that basically Max was giving me tips on. It's stuff that Pete Sanchez, some of it was stuff that he's told me about in the past, but really working on cleaning up my Facebook. So something you guys might want to start doing. And so looking at, my Facebook, things that I changed was number one, one of the most important things is your profile picture. So if your profile picture, Facebook, meaning face, like show your face on Facebook. And, when you're on Facebook, you want to show a smiling picture. So this is a picture that Max told me to put on here, because it's smiling versus my other picture, wasn't smiling. So you want to get a flattering picture on there to, be able to show people, yourself. And this background, Max kind of talked about, having a background on your Facebook cover photo that, it's appealing. It draws people in. People are like, ooh, that's a pretty place. That's somewhere I'd want to go, or, that's an inspiring, picture. That's an inspiring quote or phrase or whatever. So we talked about setting that up as well. And then if you notice, when you look at when you go down into here and seeing I don't have Vima on here, it's, global internet entrepreneur is what I have listed. And the reason I don't have Vima is because I'm not trying to, show that out to the entire world anymore. Trying to just show a page of myself being a professional. So what I'm trying to, talk to you guys about is not, blasting Vima all over your Facebook anymore, because it seems, it's kind of, cheesy. It marks you as like the salesman, on there. And there's let's see, on my Facebook, for example, some of the things that you guys want to make sure that you do is there's different people that go through and like search friends and are looking to see, looking through your friends and to recruit them to other companies. People are able to do that. So one thing that you want to do is you want to make sure your friends, so going back on your main page, you want to go to your friends and make sure that you edit the privacy on those, and make sure that only you can see your friend list and your followers, and who you're following. You want to keep that private to yourself, because you don't want somebody else to be using your friend list as their list of people to recruit into their network marketing company. Okay, so Max gave me that tip, so marking that so only you're able to see that. And then another thing that you want to do is going to your about section, and basically, in kind of short terms, basically tell your story on here and make it public. My phone number in this is private, to only I could see this, but this part is public. Okay, where I went to school is public. Where I live is public. Phoenix and from Sacramento. And I work in education. Obviously, I don't have any past work, and I'm not going to put McDonald's, so that's that. um, I never went to college, so obviously that's not there. But Perry High School is where I graduated from. I have that listed public, because basically, to get the idea, as when people are, say if you add somebody new on Facebook, say you add, a friend of a friend, and they're able to go to your page and read about you and find something that's relatable to them, it's going to increase the chance of adding you on Facebook. And when they add you on Facebook, they'll see, positive things that you have going on your timeline. They're going to see, different things that are going on in your life, and you have the chance to comment, like, share different things that they're sharing on their wall to get to know them. And so this is where drafting the about me is important, and having all of this set to public so that people are able to see. If you have a friend of a friend and they're like, oh, they went to my best friend's high school, that's maybe where I know them, I'll add them on Facebook. Or, oh, they live in Phoenix, okay, yeah, I live, that's where I live too, maybe I know them from one of my friends there. Okay, so it's just about making yourself open for people when you're connecting. And so, looking at, the people that, obviously I have a lot of people envy them on my Facebook, but, people that comment on, statuses, or like the statuses, that's somebody that, could go and reach out to, where I talked about it, hey, it's snowing in Gilbert. And I, maybe I message them and say, hey, how have you been? Saw your comments on my status. Happy New Year's, blah, blah, blah. So when you're posting these things, and notice, if you guys look at my profile, I've been eliminating posting Vima on here, and I'm just posting just normal life stuff, but stuff that's positive, motivating, that to draw people closer to me. So that's kind of idea with with your Facebook. I still need to go through my pictures, obviously, and take down some of the Vima stuff. But the idea with your Facebook is you want to open it up, um, to be able to connect with more people. And I wanted to show you guys a quick trip, or a quick tip on how to find more friends. So looking at, going to the friends tab, and then going down here to find friends, you could search for people that you're looking for. So if you're one of the people that feels like don't have enough people to talk to, or you're, running out of people to talk to, let's solve it. Enter a college or university. So I'm just going to Arizona State. So this is gonna what it's doing is now these are all people that are, listed that go to Arizona State University. And so, I could go through and look at all the people on here, and you can go to their different profiles. Okay, say I go to this guy and seeing this guy named Reggie. Okay, so yeah, we have one mutual friends. Okay, and let's see his profile. How open is it for people to view his stuff? Because people that are very closed off to all of their profile means you're less likely that they're gonna want to connect with you on Facebook because they're closed off. So if his about me, so it shows okay, he lives in Boston, Massachusetts. He's going to school for this. So it's work and education. Okay, not much. But he has, it really shows okay, he's from Florida, he's lived in Florida, lived in Arizona, lived in New Jersey and Massachusetts. Okay. And then not much details about him. So he may or may not be somebody that, I want to get connected with on Facebook. Maybe if it's someone that, I want to get talked to about, one of the places he's lived. But you utilize this if you add somebody new on Facebook that you don't even know, you could look, okay, they're from, hey, maybe I'm from Florida and I was from West Palm Beach. I add them on there. Hey, man, I just saw, you go to ASU, I'm actually from Florida too, or, I wanted to, just get, connected with, some more people at ASU, whatever. And you're just initiating conversation. And then as you get them added on Facebook, then you see their statuses and you're able to like, share, and communicate with them on their stuff and build that, online presence and relationship. So looking at, that's one way you could search for people. So you guys don't have to run out of people. Don't have to feel like you're running out of people. One other thing is, let me open up my notes here. Okay, so people who live in Phoenix. So you could search directly on where you want to look too. So it'll originally come up with posts, and you could look at people. So what it'll do first is it's going to show your friends, but then it'll go down to eventually friends and friends of friends, and then it'll eventually go to strangers. Okay, people who live in Phoenix who like business. See if this. Wrong thing. People live in Phoenix. Yes, yeah. Try the search. But basically, just getting the general idea, you could search for people, on here and type in different preferences. Some of them will come up with, more results than others. Some of them, not so much, obviously, looking at a couple of them. But you could look at, people who live in, people who like network marketing. Oops. Click on that. But basically, just getting the idea, guys, is because I'm still new to this as well. I just took this stuff from yesterday into today, and I'm still working on it as well. But basically, what I'm gonna be doing is, seeing the different changes I made on my profile, making everything public, making my friends only for me to view, cleaning up, making my profile picture attractive and my cover photo attractive on here, showing that I live in Gilbert, but I put Phoenix because that's the bigger city. Okay, so like for example, somebody on here, so Christian, for example, or let's see. Is it not working for you, Anders? Sorry, I don't know how to help. But for everyone on here, like I was saying though, with your city that you have listed, if you live in a smaller city like right outside of Trondheim, I would put Trondheim because it's the bigger city. Or say like, um Roy, you live, outside of Oslo, I would put Oslo. Um and, oh, sorry, I was just reading the message on there. But yeah, so I would change it to the major city in the area, not just having it as, I had it as Gilbert originally, but I changed it to Phoenix because that's a bigger city. So that when more people see, people are going to be able to find me more. What? Okay. And then, where I'm from, Dixon, California, it's a small city inside Sacramento. I put Sacramento, so it's a bigger city. Okay. Um, and then the about me is just sharing your story. So like on the about section, you want to make sure you get this part filled out. Details about you. I just talk about where I was born, growing up, what I was interested in, how I turned into entrepreneurship, talk about my work and things I like to do. So you just make it about you, and so you're able to relate with people more. Okay. Um, and so those of you guys that are newer on, obviously everyone on here is Facebook, but those of you that aren't very active on your Facebook, you got to start utilizing this tool to. I'm gonna start the app back on, but and I'm gonna put it in the chat down here. But number one, couple things that you could do is connect with all existing friends. So connect with all your existing friends that like personally, like that maybe you don't have on Facebook, like looking in your phone book and looking at, your workplace, looking at some new people you've met, connecting with those people on Facebook. Okay, um, and then connecting with your past friends. So people you may have went to school with a while ago on Facebook and reconnecting with people that you have, people you went to school with, past workplaces that you worked at, different cities you may have lived in, different countries you may have lived in or met people in, reconnecting with those people and adding them on Facebook. And then eventually, obviously, then, reaching out, adding other people that are, friends of friends that may have the same interests as you. This is a very, crunched in version of the webinar with Max yesterday. It was over 3 hours. So trying to just like show everything in this short span of time. But the main thing is, I think if this is something that you guys want, me to talk more on, I could go over more next Sunday as well. But basically what I would say for now is, connecting on Facebook with all of your existing friends that you could connect with and connecting with past friends, and then also looking at your Facebook and cleaning up, the network marketing off of it. So you're not portrayed as, that guy that's always posting about Vima or network marketing, because that's gonna keep your social group on social media only selected for the people in your business, really. Because the people that are outside of Vima that aren't interested in what you're doing currently aren't going to be connecting with you. And if somebody sees your profile after you add them and you have, Vima, network marketing, they're going to think, oh, this guy's just adding me to recruit me into their business. So that's where it's, taking it and not having it so public all over your profile. So that's kind of some of the stuff that I'm doing, as well as to, work on, Facebook and, getting connected with some more people in the markets that I want to get connected with. And as I go through this and, have more conversations with people and, learn to do this better, obviously bring more um, content on this. But I think this is another, resource that we really could utilize is utilizing Facebook. Um, see through my notes here. Yeah. So in the last thing that I was going to talk about before we close up, guys, is January 10th. For everyone in Trondheim or the surrounding area, Trondheim kickoff with the team. T-Real and Eric and Arndt, I know they have the times set for when that's going to exactly be. And then I have Josh Noble, star ambassador, confirmed. He's going to be UVOing in during that event, as well as Alex Morton will be UVOing into that event. Brad Alcazan will be UVOing into that event, and Tom Alcazan will be UVOing in. BK, still haven't got a chance to talk to him if he's going to be able to get on, but we have all of them, and obviously myself will be on there for that event to drop some knowledge with you guys. And then the event that we really have to push for, this January 10th event is going to be leading up to the February 7th kickoff in Stockholm. So reaching out to your teams, anyone that is working, getting connected with them to get them to the event, anybody who's semi-serious, getting them to the kickoff, anyone in the past that maybe you're thinking about relaunching, maybe reach out to some people in the downline. Hey, it's a new year, let's have a new start, let's make some stuff happen. So maybe reconnecting with some people to launch for these events that are coming up. So with that, mark your calendars, January 10th, be there at the Trondheim kickoff, February 7th, make sure you're there for the kickoff in Stockholm. And if you guys could give some feedback, I know it's kind of all over the place. I'm just going off of, all my notes from Max's webinar yesterday. If you guys would like to, learn some more stuff about the Facebook, with messaging people and, being able to open up some new conversations with people, leave some feedback in the group there and let me know if you guys want to learn more about that, or if not, that's fine. But that's it for today. About 26 minutes into the call. I want to say again, though, Happy New Year's. It's 2015. It's a new year, new you. Your past does not determine your future, guys. So, the biggest thing is 2014, year of lessons. We learned a lot. For those of you that were here for a lot of 2014, we learned a lot of lessons. We learned a lot of things not to do. We learned a lot of things what we should be doing. And really just taking this thing into the next level. We're gonna be here, through 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, and multiple years to come. We're gonna create, a true dynasty in Norway. I have no doubt in my mind that we're gonna have thousands upon thousands of people, actively consuming FEMA products and building our business. Within the next few years. So, really, I'm excited for the new year, guys. Let's take full advantage of it. Let's not let last year be the same as this year. It's a brand new year. So, create the, lifestyle that you want. So look at results you had last year. Don't just sit there and, oh, I wish I would have done that, or, I didn't get my goals. I didn't hit my goal last year, but that's okay because we have another year to come. And we're just getting better. So with that, guys, excited as always. Always want to be connected. Whatever you guys need, feel free, let me know. And let's have an amazing 2015. Talk to you soon.